Hello and welcome to Dog's Life. We are moving on to the final area of Clarksville now. So when Jake wakes up, we'll get a move on. There we go. It'll be kind of hard to see him from here because of how small the he is on that camera angle, but there we go. This cut here was because I was looking for a particular thing that had actually just not spawned, the mail van, because there was a rather amusing glitch on a previous run-through of the game when the van itself failed to load in, but the mailman was there, so he just ended up going back into it and sitting on thin air. I thought that was quite funny. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to capture it. C'est la vie. So let's move on to Clarkville Centre, which feels less interesting, despite it still being fairly interesting than the houses, because much like the big field, it feels.
Wanna join our posse? Bring us some eggs.
Yeah, then we can have a little excitement with Mr. Grumpy over there.
Get lots of eggs, and you can sneak into a store for a quick snack.
It feels like it suffers from big square syndrome, much like the big field, although much less bad because it still has some interesting aspects of its layout. It's just the central area feels like a big square.
Oh my, what a cute little doggy woggy. I've got a bone here for you, sweetums. You want a nice bone, honey bunny? Well, you can't have it. Ha ha. Now beat it before I lose my temper.
Boy, what a weirdo. Somebody should teach her some manners.
Hey, what do
Currently,
you want?
Mary Jane is still topping the
Beat it,
charts as
bozo.
worst voice actress, but she's pretty close with the delivery of that ha-ha there. She really did not do well with that line.
Okie dokie. Now we'll see who's
Here's an
top
interesting
dog
property of
around
this
here.
Doberman. He is the gatekeeper at the end of each major area, so basically the train stations. He shows up to be basically blocking your path until you've got enough bones to move past him. We have way more bones than him, so there's never going to be a problem. But that's what his purpose is. As you can see, because we have so many more bones than him, he just kind of lays down, and theoretically would let us pass, but we don't want to yet, because we still have stuff to do here. For example,
I'm
makeover.
filthy. Better get clean.
I find those scissors somewhat concerning, but the rest of it looks rather charming.
I feel like a new dog.
I also like his kick-ass little collar with the Addams Family kind of stripes going on. It's very kind of a cool collar, I like it. So it's time to get some eggs, and we'll show off a mechanic that's only ever used this once. Not smashing through the fence, this happens a couple of times in the game, well there's so many. This. If you worry a chicken by barking the hell out of it, it will eventually start dropping eggs. Got it to drop 3 of them so far, so that's half the eggs we need, so let's get them in the basket. There's also something you can do where you can pick up a small animal and worry them enough so that all the fur or feathers fly off, but I wasn't able to get it to happen here, despite me trying later on. Partially because I couldn't work out the trick. It may be that you're supposed to bark when holding them, because if I recall correctly, if you bark while holding an animal, he'll start growling and shaking it, but I wasn't able to get him to do that this time around, so let's just get the last of these 3 eggs, after bothering the chicken a little bit to get it to drop a treat. Done this before with the skunks, but it's much more fun with the chickens, because they can't fight back. The skunks can and will spray you if you're not careful. It has never happened to me because I never really messed with them, but it happened to Moomin Biscuit on his one through, so there you go. And here's the remaining eggs. Only a little bonus egg over there. And don't worry, this is the last time I'll ever need to do this. We just need to fill this basket so we can actually complete this little quest. Once collecting this last bone over here anyway. Say last, but you know what I mean.
Wahoo! At last!
Yeah, that Doberman really knows what's up. He knows what not to mess with us.
Way to go! Now that he's busy getting an egg bath, you can sneak past him.
You little whippersnappers! I'll tan your backside!
Now, with this little side quest, we are actually preparing for a something close to a climax for this area, which we will see once I've collected the bones hidden in his shop. Because he doesn't like the fact that we've got into his shop and started looting through his stuff.
Dog catcher!
And here we have what amounts to a climax for each area. In each area, there is one unavoidable time that the dog catcher will start chasing you, and you have to escape from his Doberman. Luckily, we have 30 more bones than he does right now, so we are sitting pretty. He cannot catch up with us at all. There's only a couple of areas where he's at all worrying, and this is certainly not one of them.
It's no good, he's too fast. I can't be bothered with this.
And now the dog catcher officially gives up. And now he gets out of the way. And now the train is completely ours for the taking. But again, we have more to do here first. Yeah, the train, you may have guessed, is how we move on to the next area. It's how we move between the major hubs of the game. Which I don't mind saying right now, there are 3. You'll see what the other 2 are later. Clarksville, of course, is the first. And I'm just going up here to show off that you can get up on these rooftops, even if it's nearly pointless to do so. The only thing up here is this box containing a side of ham of some kind, kind of a beef leg or whatever that is.
Juicy.
A shank or something, I guess. Never been very good at identifying meats. And that's just to show if you can get up there. So let's just collect all these purple scents around here now. Again, this area is a fairly small one. It's fairly straightforward. So it won't take too long to collect the purples here. This little hill can be a pain to get on for these 2 because of the weird geometry. Jake often gets hung up on it.
Whoa, don't step
now
in
let's
that.
get the ones in this little corner over here. One thing I've noticed is that while the side characters have atrocious voice acting,
Smells like a basset hound I once knew.
the voice acting for the principal characters, it's okay. They're doing what they were paid to do. Rude. Jake's voice, it works for the character. It's enthusiastic. He's enunciating well.
What life's all about.
And while for the most part it's a little flat, he's able to sound a little excitable at times.
Without him?
I quite like the cadence on that line, for example. Things like that. So the occasional incidental line work fairly well. Maybe I may just have poor standards for voice acting, but there you go. So let's get the purple in here too. Well, you have to squeeze through that fence one more time to get the rest of the oranges, but that will come later when we're dealing with the minigames. So let's just finish around here. This is kind of cheeky. There's a single purple scent in this shop. It's the only place you ever find a purple scent inside, as far as I recall. Maybe one later one I'd forgotten about, but... Well, beside the barn, of course, and the attic of the house, but other than that, that's pretty much it, really. And yeah, this was me cutting to this area because I was an idiot and had forgotten where the last few scents were. They are, of course, up this little slope over here, across the bridge, where we neglected to explore.
In the morning.
There we go. Yeah, one thing you'll notice is that sometimes purple scents can be hidden in the purple trails that people leave behind when they have nothing to give you. Which is a little bit cruel, because often you'll not be sure if there's something in a trail or not, unless you've just rammed your face right into it to make sure of it.
My favorite.
Luckily the scents don't follow the people, because that would just be ridiculous, but they are often camouflaged just enough to be a pain to find them, because you'll often overlook one and think you've already got it, because you didn't see it because it was hidden by that particular person's tail at the time. This is me cutting. It's the first time to have actually failed this challenge, because this is where things get a bit tricky. It's very easy to miss one particular scent in this area. I don't even know which one I keep missing, but for some reason I often get to the end of the course here and I have missed one scent and then I've run out of time trying to find it. So I saved you that. One pretty cool thing with these follow the leader challenges though, the purples and the blues, is that they tend to despawn all of the other sets, or at least mute them, so that you're not distracted by them, which is very kind of the game. And there we go. That's the violet bone collected. Well, spawned. We're collecting it now. There we are.
Delicious.
So now, I believe it's time to play with the neighbouring dog, but first, this is me trying to make the treat system work by begging a couple of characters, but it just wouldn't happen. And that was an accident entirely. So let's collect the green cents and do the first of these minigames. This one I take umbrage with for reasons you'll see.
I've got more bones than this guy. Time to have a little fun. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we've
Go.
got triple his bones. He stands nothing. No chance at all. Well, except for one aspect of this face that you'll see in a minute. I mentioned blind corners. This is perhaps the worst of them. Or one of the worst. Just as we're coming out of here, you may have noticed the trail seems to just kind of stop around here. And so you get a bit lost and then realise where the Doberman went, so you realise you have to go up this hill for the rest of them. Now I have to catch up with him.
I can't believe
So
it.
as you can see, he's a little tinier than I would have liked. But now we're ahead of him, he really doesn't stand a chance, because the rest of the course is fairly straightforward. That particular corner is just kind of mean. I do like the race music, it's just fun challenge music.
Oh, yes.
I just generally
Now
like
I'm
techno
in the
music in
driver's
games. So, revenge time.
Oh my gosh, please don't hurt me, you terrible beast! Here, take this bone!
And there's the purpose of the Doberman. I guess in this case he has kind of betrayed the dog catcher, but at this point, Jake is so much more authoritative than him.
I like
He's
it a
probably
lot.
too scared to refuse him. It's like a Godfather situation right now. If he could, he probably would have done the thing with his chin, but with his paws, like they do in those movies. With the rubbing of chin a couple of times. I believe it's in those movies. I haven't actually seen them myself, but I've seen that gesture a lot in like mafioso things, parodying them, so...
I've got
So
more
here's time
bones
for
than
the
this guy.
final minigame
Time
in
to
this
have
area.
A little fun.
The tug
3,
of war.
2, 1, go.
Yeah, as you can see, as usual, the enemy gets the first one because of the way the button mashing works, but now it's time for us to completely clown him. This Doberman is a Doberman puppy more than anything else. Now let's collect that final bone.
Bones. Who could live without
And here, this is
them?
kind of a bit of a tease, because you can see the station from here, but it's a bit too high for Jake to jump over. But now we have collected all the bones in the Clarksville Centre. So let's see what the game has in store for us now. After I demonstrate the fact that we can't actually take a shortcut down there. Yeah, Jake just won't have it. But now, we have done everything in Clarksville, so it's time to move on to the next area, which, from all the foreshadowing, you may have guessed. One last time rubbing it in. Now it's time to saunter onto the train. This kind of is an automatic movement thing as far as I can tell, and he always takes that weird S path past the little bar. See you on the other side.
Would you care for a tissue, Wayne?
Oh, mind your own beeswax, Dwayne.
Hello, Dwayne speaking.
Well, did you collect some nice, clean Clarksville dogs?
Yes, Miss Peaches.
What about some nice, clean mountain dogs from up at Lake Minnewawa?
Not yet, Miss Peaches.
Oh, fiddlesticks! Can't I trust you idiots to do anything?
Sorry, Miss Peaches.
Do you know what happens to idiots who disappoint me?
Yes, Miss Peaches. Wayne?
What?
That was Miss Peaches. She says, why aren't we in Lake Minnewawa?
Because, Dwayne, you are useless at reading road maps. Wait! Look! At last!
Interesting. Now we know who's behind the dog nappings at least. Miss Peaches. If you'd listened to the radio show, you would know that she is the owner of the cat food cannery in Boom City. And her real name, according to the radio show, is actually Loretta Chicken Meat, which implies, due to the naming scheme of the farm, that she may have grown up there herself, but changed her name to likely distance herself from the filthiness of the farm due to obsession with cleanliness, as you can tell from her obsession with getting clean dogs above all else. So here we are at the next area, the Lake Minnewawa Ski Resort, which we'll be exploring next time, but for now I'm just going to give you a little sneak preview of the area, because I quite like the way it looks. The snow is quite pretty, and I like the little effect of the snow falling, and here you can really see the cars, the way they can move. I quite like the way they kind of exaggerate their motion as they go around corners. I quite like that truck with the flames, it's pretty awesome. So let's try and ignore this particularly loud radio show from the Loud Brothers.
With CSKI's favorite radio show, The Loud Brothers Live!
They really live up to their reputation, but we can listen to them later, when we've read all the characters important to them. But for now, I'll bid you adieu, and next time we will explore the first part of the Lake Minnewawa Ski Resort in Act 2. Goodbye.